back with another video for you. So recently I've started readjusting my goals for how I want my body to look and what I'd like to improve on. Recently I've been noticing that I've experienced growth in my under booty, but not a lot in my upper booty, which gives me that like flat pancake look. I don't like that. I want the perky bubble butt look. Scientifically, this means that my gluteus minimus and my gluteus medius are developing, but I haven't really focused on the largest of the glute muscles, the gluteus maximus. I know, right? What was I thinking? I'm trying to switch up my glute workout and start incorporating more exercises that have compound movements in it. This is a really big step for me because I'm used to just sticking with the exercises that I know and love. It's great to have a set routine, but it's always great to mix it up and to try some new things. The first I'm going to start off with is static lunges. They're called static because I'm staying in one place. With the bar resting on my shoulders, I'm going to lower myself down to the ground until my knees are in a 90-degree angle. The focus is pushing up with my heels instead of my toes. Pushing up with your toes is going to make this exercise more quad dominant. Lunges is something I've definitely avoided in my journey just because I know that they're more quad focused. But if I want stronger legs, this is something I'm going to have to start incorporating. One thing I've found is that if I do some glute activation exercises before doing this exercise, it's easier to develop the mind to muscle connection and I feel it more in my lower glutes or the gluteus medius and minimus. But if I don't do some activation and I just jump right into it, I feel my quads taking over. Another way I help myself feel this in my glutes and my hamstrings is to do them elevated. My gym doesn't have those little cute little shelves, we ain't bougie like that, so we can step on. So instead I just grab a couple of plates and I stack it on each other just to create a little bit of leverage. I found these a little difficult to do on the Smith machine just because it's angled, but I would try these with a barbell or a squat rack with a free weight. That's another thing. My main goal right now is to finally have the confidence to use a squat rack. I'm so shy. I know it doesn't look like it, but I really am. And I feel like if I were to go use the squat rack, that people are going to be watching me and I'll do something wrong and I'll probably mess up. I'll probably fall on my ass. It's a bunch of things. But I'm using the Smith machine to get a little stronger and then I'm going to transition into using free weights. But for now, the Smith machine is just helping me with my journey. And I really love the Smith machine. It's one of my favorite machines. I want to start incorporating some deadlifts, some hip thrusts, and lots of things. So join me. Today I wanted you to join me on my heavy leg day and see the new exercises I'm incorporating into my leg day. I picked exercises that I would normally do and just increased the weight, and I actually surprised myself with how heavy I could go. I actually reached new goals today, so this is a step forward with my progress. I superset these with a couple of different glute focused exercises just to keep my heart rate up and to keep my blood pumping to the area instead of sitting for a break. I like to add a few exercises that isolate my glutes. This is the single leg hip thrust and it has become one of my new favorites just because it is so easy to do. You grab a dumbbell, resting one foot on it, you're going to keep your opposite leg straight. I push off with the leg on the dumbbell in a sort of glute bridge movement, and then I lower my leg down until I feel the stretch in my hamstring, and then I come back up. I feel the stretch more in my hamstrings, but in the leg that is on the dumbbell, not the one that's hovering. If you really, really, really want to feel this in your hamstrings, put your foot flat on the dumbbell instead of angled. Girl, this burns. I'm really starting to incorporate hip thrust into my routine. This is one of the best exercises for glute building because it targets the glutes and nothing else. It's perfect for people who don't want to grow their quads. It's purely a glute isolating exercise. Another one of my goals is to be able to hip thrust with the free weight bar. But me and my girl tried this and it was just such a mess. It was a struggle. I couldn't lift it onto my thighs and then I got bruising and it was too heavy. So right now, dumbbells is what is really helping me. I can still do heavy with the dumbbells and I won't get those nasty bruises on my legs, so this works. Next is a kneeling squat. I started doing these when I first injured my leg and had knee pain. If you want to learn about that story, there will be a link right up here. These are great for people with knee pain because normal squats put a lot of stress on your knees. This one, you're going to be resting your knees on a mat and pushing up with your glutes. If you tried this exercise and you didn't feel it in your glutes, don't get discouraged. I discovered today actually that the heavier you go with this, the more your glutes take over and do the work. I do this exercise slowly because I want to develop the mind to muscle connection to tell my hamstrings and glutes to do the work, as opposed to my quads. You really need to focus with this one. I reached a new goal with this one today with 35 pounds. I usually only do it with about 20 or 25 pounds. An important thing I should mention is that I added a band to this exercise so that subconsciously, when you come up, pushing upward, my hips are going to abduct and push out slightly. You might not even feel it moving, but trust me, it is. If you're having trouble feeling this exercise in your glutes, try it with a band, because let me tell you, girl, someone told me it would change my life, and girl, did it ever. Here's a link for some glute activation exercises and how to develop the mind to muscle connection. I'll be putting a lot of links in this video, but hopefully one of these will help you. Next exercise is donkey kicks, which helps isolate the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus. I usually do this exercise facing the mirror because when I see people staring at me, I get really shy. But the angle was a bit weird, so I tried it in the opposite direction and it was a lot easier. This Smith machine I'm using is angled, so you have to keep your foot a little angled so that the machine doesn't lock into place. There is ones where it's not angled, it's just straight up, so that one should be no problem. Another reason for not experiencing growth is because I'm not shocking my muscles. They've gotten used to the movements I normally do, and it's nothing new to them, they just got used to it. My current fitness goals is to build more of the upper part of my glutes and give it more of that rounder look. I'm currently eating a calorie surplus, which is why I look a little fluffy, if you didn't notice. If you didn't know already, you need to be eating a caloric surplus, which means eating more calories than you burn, to put on weight and build muscle. For me to build a bigger butt, I need to be eating enough so my body can use the food to build muscle. If you're looking for some meal prep ideas or what I eat during the week, I'll put a link right up here. I'll also be putting a link to my fitness journey to show you how my body has changed so far. Next is a standing good morning, which is a little tricky to get, but it's pretty much the same movement as a stiff leg deadlift, where you're hinging at the hips. You'll see me adjusting my footing a few times, and this is just to make sure they're about shoulder width apart. Honestly, until you do this exercise, you won't really understand why I keep readjusting, but sometimes your feet are not far apart enough to let you get that stretch. Sometimes they're too close, so you feel it more in your quads or something. So just play around with it until you feel it in your hamstrings. They want to be far apart enough so that you feel the stretch in your hamstrings. The main thing with this exercise is keeping your back straight. When you hinge, keep a slight bend in your knee, and you're going to feel this in your hamstrings and in your lower back. I always thought that if I felt it in my back, I was doing it wrong, but this actually can be a back workout as well. So I found that out. That's new to me. This is one of my new favorites. I saved it for last. It is box squats, okay? These are perfect for someone who's not used to squatting. The act of sitting down forces the glutes to do the majority of the lifting. I felt this in the back of my thighs and my hamstrings. Depending on where you put your feet, you will feel this more in your quads or more in your glutes. I really love this variation because I surprised myself with how heavy I could go. You can do these where you fully sit down and get up, or you can do it where you don't actually sit down, but you're tapping the bench. Just make sure you're squeezing at the top, but don't over squeeze. I adjusted my legs so that when I come down, it's forming a 90-degree angle. This is a bit challenging, but just keep readjusting your footing until you get it. Start off with just squatting the bar if you have to, and then readjust. The only reason why I like to do this on the Smith machine is just because I can go a little bit heavier. When you use the free weights and it's a heavy weight, you have to clean press it, which is lifting up in the air, putting it behind your head. And sometimes that's a little bit challenging for me because my upper body strength isn't the greatest. We're working on it. But if it's already up on the bar, it's easier for me to just put it on my shoulders. And, when I'm done and I'm feeling tired, I just re-rack it. So that's just one of the positive things of the Smith machine. So I really, really hope you guys like this video. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on my journey so far. Comment down below if you have any exercises that you'd like me to try and just experiment with that you think would help me. Maybe you've tried one of the exercises I just showed you and they really, really work for you. Let me know down below. If you really like workout videos and you liked what I just showed you, hit subscribe with the notification bell and we can get this journey started. Okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.